What's up everyone, Brad Dahlke here with another Good Labs video. Today we are going to be talking how to hit the long drive. Being able to swing a little harder and put a little more juice on it can help you get a little closer shot for your second shot. Maybe you can get on the green. Or if you're just honestly just wanting to outdrive your friends, if you want to have some fun out there and outdrive your buddies, then this video might be great for you. So hitting the ball longer isn't always most important, but there are times where it is very important. And so today I'm going to try to show you in beginner, intermediate, and expert levels on how to hit the ball longer with your driver. If you feel like you're a high caliber golfer or more high caliber, then I recommend you skipping to the intermediate or expert chapters in the video. All right, so this is the beginner level for how to hit the ball longer with your driver. First up I want to talk about is having a wider stance with your driver when you're trying to hit longer. If my normal stance with the driver is about right here, just slightly wider, not a ton, just a little bit. And the reason I do this is because I want to be able to use my legs effectively in the swing. Legs is where about probably 90% of the power comes from with the driver. So if I can get those legs a little wider, even a little bit more in an athletic stance, then it'll allow me to push off them more in the swing and be able to gain a few more yards with it. Along with the wider stance, I want that ball played a little bit further up in my stance. If this is my normal stance, we're going a little bit wider, and then we're moving our feet this way. So that ball is just slightly further ahead. And the reason I do that is for this angle of attack to get a little bit more up. So the club is going to be going more this way instead of level. And that will allow the ball to move a little higher in the air and carry a little bit longer and get a little more distance. You're gonna have some natural tilt with your shoulders in a driver because the ball is further up, but what I like to do is just have slightly more tilt this way with the shoulders. Not much, just a little bit. So if I'm normally here, I might just go right here, just a little bit. And again, that's the same thing as playing the ball further up. It just helps me hit more up on the ball, and that will in turn make the ball go higher and fly a little further if you hit it solid. The fourth step after set up correctly, wide stance, ball further up, slightly more tilt, is you want to get on the backswing a lot of weight into this right side. I don't want you going like this, but I want you to be able to load into this right leg. So again, I don't want you to hear this and think I'm meaning get way over here. It's not what I'm saying. Just get some weight into that right side and turn those hips back, and that will generate a lot of power because it just gets a lot of energy in this right side from at the top, and then you can unleash all the energy on the way down. And then the last step, probably the most fun part of the whole thing, is once you set up correctly, you get that big turn, that big load into that right side. That's when you just swing hard as you can from the top. This is a beginner level. You know, there's some things that you can do on the downswing to think about, you know, getting that ball to go out there further, but beginner level, I just want you to think, if you're trying to just hit that ball out there and learn how to hit it longer, you just swing hard from the top. So try to get that setup correct, try to get in a good spot at the top where you're loading on the right side, turning those hips back, but then from there, you just swing and unleash on the ball, pretend like the ball said something mean about your family, about your mom, I don't care what it is, just unleash on that ball and hit it hard. So that was the beginner level for how to hit your drives longer. I hope you go out in the range and just try it out. Like I said earlier in the video, hitting your drives longer is fun, but also can help you out a lot in your score if you do it correctly, if you do it at the right times. So go out in the range, see if this helps, see if you can start poking that ball out there a little bit longer. If you feel like you've worked on this stuff that I've talked about and you want to go to the intermediate level, and then from then on go to the expert level, that's what this video is here for you to watch this level, and then once you feel like you've got that down, come back to the video, find the intermediate, go watch that, go try those tips, and see if there's anything you can find to get yourself to hit the ball even further. This is the intermediate level for how to hit your drives longer. My idea of intermediate level would probably be the 5 to 15 handicap range. So if you're in the handicap area, you're in the right spot. We have some steps here today that we're going to talk about to try to get your drives to go a little bit longer, and I hope you like these tips. All right, the first thing is we're going to talk about the setup for hitting a longer drive. So it's not crazy different from a normal drive for me, but I do change a few things. The first thing I do, if this is my normal stance for a normal driver, I will get my stance just a little bit wider. Not a ton, but it just helps me generate a little more power from the legs. And then I will also move the ball up my stance slightly, maybe half a ball or a ball further up. This just helps me swing up on the ball a little bit more, get that ball higher in the air. And then last thing I do is I will tilt, the shoulders will have a natural tilt in the driver anyways, but I will tilt them just even a little bit more. And that goes along with the ball being played further up, just helps the ball get a little higher in the air. If you make good contact, you should fly a little further. The next step is having a little bit more hip turn in your backswing. So much of the power in a drive comes from your legs and your hips. What I try to do, I set up well to it, you know, wider stance, all that. And then on the way back, I'll just try to load my weight into this right side by rotating these hips. And it doesn't have to be over rotating. You don't have to be going like this on it or anything, but just a slight more rotation with the hips will generate a little bit more energy, a little more force right here that's ready to be unleashed on the downswing. The next step, which is also on the backswing, is having a slightly longer backswing, which if you do the hips correctly, if you turn more on your hips, it should be very easy to get the longer backswing, just because if you're getting your hips more this way, then your upper body's gonna wanna go with it and get that club longer. So, but if you feel like your hips are turning a lot more and your club's not looking all the way back there, then maybe just try to give it just that little extra at the top. So if you do it all correctly, you should be in a good spot back here with hips turned very well, club a little longer at the top. The next step is at transition, you want to make sure you get to that left side. It's a slight bump to the left side. It's not, you're not getting from here and going like that. It's just getting to the top and get all the energy loaded, and a slight bump to the left side. And then after that bump, I want you to clear your hips as hard as you can. Like I said, good setup, wide stance, all that. Good hip rotation, club gets a little further back there, generate all this energy just ready to be unloaded on that golf ball, and then slight bump, and then clear those hips as hard as humanly possible. Probably 90% of the power in a driver comes from the legs, so you have to be able to unleash that energy through your legs by bumping, getting the left side, and then releasing those hips and clearing those hips really hard. So that's it for the intermediate level. I hope those tips will help you out. I recommend going to the range and trying them out, and I hope they work for you. And if they do, and you feel like you're hitting your drives longer, want to try to see if you can even gain a little bit more distance, I recommend you coming back to the video, going to the expert level and trying those tips out as well. We want you to be able to watch your level of what your skill level is, and then be able to come back and watch the next skill level if you feel like you need it. Yeah, go try those tips out, and I hope you start hitting a lot longer. This is the expert level for how to hit longer drives. If you're watching the expert level, then I'm gonna assume you're probably a low single-digit handicap, or college golfer, junior golfer, a good high school golfer, maybe even a pro golfer. Maybe we got some pro golfers watching the videos out here. But yeah, I'm gonna give you what I personally think about when I'm trying to just really hit a drive hard, whether it's a long par 5 I want to try to reach in 2, or a drivable green, or if I'm just trying to outdrive Quan or Bubby or something, this is what I try to do. So there's 3 main things I do in my setup that I change. It's not a whole lot different. If I have my normal setup right here, I want to get the stance a little bit wider, just so I can generate a little more power from the legs. I want to move this ball a little further up my stance, and then I'm going to tilt my shoulders just slightly more. The ball being played further up and the shoulder tilt is just so I can try to hit a little bit more up on it, get that ball sending high in the air. That way if I get good contact, it's gonna be flying a little further. So the next thing, after you have the setup down, the backswing, what I think about is trying to just load into this right hip. So I'm trying to rotate my hips and just load everything. If you could take all the energy in my body that I'm like creating, I wanna try to feel like all the energy is being loaded right into this spot right here. Because once I'm there, then that's just an easy spot to be able to unleash that energy and be able to unload it onto the golf ball and try to hit it as hard as I can. So just turn those hips back, try to rotate those hips, and just try to feel like everything's loading into this area. And then the next thing on the backswing, one issue I have sometimes when I'm trying to hit it hard, I think a lot of people have this issue, is you load very well, but then you're trying to hit it so hard that you don't let the backswing finish. You have to let the backswing finish and get set up here. I think that's one reason why whenever you're trying to hit it hard, it's tougher to judge your accuracy, because you're trying to hit it so hard that from the top you just whip it down and get out of sync, and obviously very easy to do because you're trying to get that club head going and moving. One thing I try to focus on when I'm swinging it hard is loading on the right side, like I said, loading into the right hip, but also letting the club head and the shaft and everything set at the top and finish that backswing. Because then from there, I already have all this energy stored. I can unload it all I want. I just can't be getting all this untwisted before my backswing's even finished, because that just throws things out of sorts. You'll actually lose club head speed doing that. And so you gotta make sure you finish that backswing before you start making that downswing. So then the last step is the downswing. To be able to generate as much power as I can with my legs, I try to get to the left side, get that little bump to the left side. I try to squat and then jump. So if I'm really trying to hit it hard, I'm not actually gonna be jumping. I might be jumping up onto my toes, but I'm not gonna be jumping in the air. I try to make sure to get the left side first, just a little bump, and then I literally feel like I'm squatting onto a chair and then jumping and unleashing all that power right at the ball. And obviously you see guys like Justin Thomas or Bubba Watson, some of the longest hitters that play golf right now, they all jump on their toes. And that's a huge way to gain power, is by being able to squat and use your legs and jump and use that vertical force to be able to gain speed at the bottom of the swing. And that's what I think about whenever I'm trying to hit hard, just a big load on that right side, finish the backswing, and then make sure you get that little slight bump to the left side so you're not hanging back on it. And then you just squat and jump. If you sync everything up correctly, that should lead to more club head speed. And if you hit it solid, then that ball will be going a lot further. So that was how to hit the ball longer with your driver. Like I said, hitting the ball longer is not always important, but there are certain times where it is kind of needed, and it can be kind of fun if you're just playing for fun with your buddies, you want to go try to outdrive someone. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Please give it a like. Please subscribe to the channel if you have not already. We're all very excited for the videos that are coming out in the near future here on Good Good Labs. And make sure you hit that notification bell so you get notified whenever the next video comes out. Until then, thank you so much for watching. We really appreciate it. Peace.